Mario with MIA Microflight. 11 years ago, Javi King came out with this auto gyro here. And I believe this guy right here is the was the developer of that product. He's doing a review here 11 years ago, 11-year video. Um, so this is the original product right here that Javi King came out with. You can see that it's bare bones. It's got no cover on the fairing. It's got no pilot head. It's got no cover for the motor, and mm, you know decals, that's just your basic decals. Let me show you what I did with this product from that to this right here. Now, when I did these changes, these upgrades for the Javi King, I was selling them as complete assemblies, as combo units. The pilot head with the fairing at the motor cover, fairing the covers, leg pants, and also this cover on the mast to make it a little more aerodynamic and improve the efficiency of the aircraft. I also did some rotor head, some newer rotor head flex plates and even blades for this particular auto gyro, and I was selling them as upgrades. I also did a complete um, new set of new set of decals. So you can see how spiffy those decals are. And I mean, look how spiffy this thing is, with my upgrades. In the video, you probably won't hear you probably won't be able to hear the sound because like I said, I'm running this through my projector, and I have my voice over the video here as I'm videotaping this, and I'm doing this to prove a point here. Um, Back in 20 well, let me complete what I was going to say originally. Okay, so these are my upgrades. Let me pause the video and let me show you what Javi King decided to do. This right here is the new version that apparently has come out about a year ago. I have not been able to um, um, well, I have been away from the autogyro scene for about a few years because I've been concentrating on my other ultralight, microlight stuff. The smaller stuff, the mini airplanes that I've been designing and developing. So autogyros has been I have been I haven't been too keen, with autogyros. So I missed this that they came out with this apparently a year ago. So I didn't. I just stumbled on this video right here, and this is the reason why I'm doing this video right here. But you can see the year a year ago and 11 years ago, I was developing all these upgrades for the Auto-G. You can see here, if you type MIA Auto-G or MIA Microflight Auto-G2, you can see what I did 11 years ago with respect to the Auto-G. And what Javi King and that gentleman that I said, is the original developer of the product that contacted me back pre-COVID, and was asking for my feedback that he was that apparently Javi King was interested in some of these upgrades that I was doing to the Javi King, and they were going to come up with a version 2, and they were going to apparently give me credit, blah blah blah, a bunch of bullshit, in my opinion. Pardon my French, but that's bottom line what it is, because I just stumbled on this, and Javi King never sent me any credits for them lifting all my upgrades and embedding them on this Auto-G version 2 that they came out a year ago. Like I said, I just stumbled. Today is June 17, 2025. I just stumbled on this because I just happened to do an RC autogyro search on YouTube, and I come across my original autogyro for the upgrades for the Durafly, and this thing right here that they have embedded all my upgrades that I did originally for the Auto-G. No credit whatsoever. The guy that had contacted me stopped talking to me, which at that point, I kind of had a suspicion that they were something fishy was going on, because that's what happens, when people are like that. Um, Once again, 11 years ago. all the stuff that I did for the Auto-G. I don't know if they lifted even my flex plate, because this has specific geometry that I embedded in there. And I talk about these things openly in my videos. If you click on that video, you'll see you can see the geometry there, and you can also see what I described, and for the reasons that I develop all these things, and why I developed that geometry and what it does to the performance of the aircraft. This right here, let me click on this right here and show you the things that that are obvious that they lifted from my original upgrades that I did for the Auto-G. No credit whatsoever. No, nothing. Okay, interesting that the box art does not show the pilot, but they do show the fairing here that I developed, for as an upgrade for the original one. But they're not showing the little pilot head there on this one or here. Very, very interesting how they mask, those details. Very sneaky. Now let me go to another section of this video that shows a closer look. But in the product box, look at that. Not to give away so much that they lifted all my upgrades that I did originally for the Auto-G. Okay, so you can see here the pilot, the fairing for the mast, the cover for the motor, all upgrades that I did for the original. They lifted it up. No credit whatsoever to my name or my company name. Even when the original guy that developed the original Auto-Gyro of 11 years ago had contacted me and asked me, and basically told me that they were going to give me credit for some of these things that they were apparently thinking of lifting and placing on this version 2. Once again, I just stumbled on these videos. This is about a year ago. I have not been active in as far as Auto-Gyros. It doesn't mean that I have stopped doing that type of work, but I just haven't been looking for videos online. I just stumbled on these videos today, and that's the reason why I'm doing this this video here, just to just show you how these things come about. And I wish this company would have at least give me credit for lifting some of these things that they have embedded on this version 2, and at least put it on the box. If they're not going to give me any sort of compensation for for them just lifting these things, blatantly lifting it up and putting it there. I suspect that this came from the guy that was in contact with me. I have the receipts. I have the emails that he sent me. If I have a chance, I will do another video, and I will talk a little bit more about that transaction there, what was happening, what I said, what he said, how he approached me. I never approached Hobby King. They approached me. They lifted my stuff, and now it's on this product. Let me go back to my original one of 11 years ago and show you this very same things here. It pisses me off when people do this, when companies do this kind of crap. And it's not the first time, Hobby King is not, but I thought Hobby King was a little bit different than other companies. I have had the same issues with E-Flight, with Wakira, these companies lifting all my upgrades that I did for their products, making them better. They lifted all my products. Of course, they lift the stuff that they when they see people buying upgrades, that other smaller companies are making to their products, enhancing their products. Of course, they lift those up, and put it on their next versions. But it would be it would be nice if these companies would give credit where credit is due. So let me go back and show you my original upgrade set. Once again, fairing, pilot, cover for this, and even the landing gear. They went with this triangular landing gear here that I also had employed on my as part of some of the upgrades that I was doing for this helicopter Auto-Gyro rather. I can't see the rotor head, and I wouldn't be surprised if they also had lifted my rotor head, my flex plate that I did in fiberglass originally. for the also for this Auto-G. They're not showing it here, and I noticed that in some videos they are removing the pilot, so it's not obvious that looks like my original upgrades that I did for the original Hobby King back 11 years ago. So let me post this video, go back to my original where I show the original Hobby King with my upgrades that they have lifted. You can see how spiffy this model is, the original one. This is 11 years ago that I did this video here, and you can search YouTube videos, and you can see a lot more videos that I was doing with all these spiffy upgrades that I was making for this product, not only to enhance the aesthetics of it, but also the performance. Here we go, the pilot. They actually shrunk the pilot, but it's basically the same pilot with the same black section there. The same head. I mean, even the shape is the same. The fairing and the motor, they lifted that. They lifted the fairing, of course. That's obvious. And even these legs that I was doing for that, they kind of went with, instead of going with a single wire, they were just bending and inserting it. They went with a more triangular landing gear. But you can see how spiffy, my upgrades were, including the decals. So those are my own decals. I was doing those in various colors, not just one color. I was offering this in various colors. So, I mean, this is it's pretty obvious that they lifted all my stuff, all my upgrades here. It's not the original design is not my design. I'm not claiming that but I am. I would have liked to have had some credit, as far as these things that they have embedded, my upgrades on the Hobby King. And this is just from a cosmetic point of view. Like I said, I don't know what the rotor head looks like, but the original rotor head on the Hobby King was plastic. I made one out of fiberglass, which is a lot better, more durable, and I even went one step further in another video that I show with a little different geometry on the blade holders, just to assist the blades to maintain rotation under air pressure, a lot better than the original one, the plastic one that they did. So that is my upgrade. And if we look at some of these videos, the way even those pictures that those first shots, they're kind of hiding the pilot, and they're kind of hiding some of these well, the pilot is small, perhaps that's the reason why you can't see that as prominent as on my original upgrades. And here's my rotor head that I'm talking about. All these things that I did are for the Auto-G. You can see a slew of MIA microflight. Look inside the box. If you look at that video right there, I discuss why I designed the rotor head, the new rotor flex plates. You have to pardon me. It's rather late, very late, or very early in the morning, and I just haven't had any sleep. I'm slow in my speech here, because I'm very, very tired as I'm doing these videos. But there's the here I'm discussing the flex plate that I did with the Auto-G. This is one of 3 rotor plates that I did. The original one was a smaller version of this, but this was a much better, and it's got specific geometry there that the original plastic injection molded did not have. I'm not going to show the complete video because this is on my YouTube channel. You can watch these videos if you want to find out a little more about it. about these things, what I said, why I came up with these things on the original one, and you can compare it with the new one and see that I'm not saying anything that's not out of line here. And once again, this person right here is the guy that originally emailed me. Right there, the original product, and now their the recent product 11 years later, after I had originally done all these upgrades for the original product. It's just unreal. It's just fucking unreal.